Operators and if statements in Java. Hello and welcome back to another video here on the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about operators, what operators are, types of operators, where you can use them, and a brief introduction to decision making using if statements in Java. Now, before I begin, I would like to put everything here to a close. So I would like to get rid of the experimental features that I've been using here and experimental preview features and just return to the SDK default, the release features of Java 23. So we will no longer have this and I'm completely fine. I'll be honest with you, I don't like it too much, all right? I prefer the old one because I never did have a problem with it. I'm not a Python person, so I absolutely loved it. And in Intellij, if you're into the main method, the old one as much as I am, then you have a shortcut. You just type down main and then you press tab and you have the old main method, which I am absolutely a big fan of. And to print out, you just SOUT tab, you automatically get this generated. So it's pretty cool. Now I have a few things we need to go through, so let's not waste time. Let's get straight into it. So operators are basically how Java does variable tasks, compares, combines variables together, and assigns variables, for example. So we're just going to go straight into it. We're going to start with the arithmetic operators, which are basically the mathematical functions that you've done since like the 3rd grade or something. So the first one we have, we're first going to declare an integer. So int x is equal to, let's say, 5. And int y is equal to, is equal to 5 as well. So what we want to do here is we want to print out the value of x plus. We're going to start with the plus, so you use the plus sign to add two variables together. So if you run this, we get 10. So what you've done here, you've added x plus y. Please ignore this. My ID here is bugged up apparently. X plus y. And this isn't the only use of the thing. So let's say, for example, I wanted to have string age. For example, we're going to say let's actually do the string. So you are plus let's say x plus years old. All right, so what we've done here, we've created a new string variable and we have stored it in UR plus x plus y. What we've done here is what we call concatenation in Java. So we have just given this string, we've added the value of x to it and years old. So this doesn't mean that it will be a string plus integer plus string. No, this just means we want to combine this string. We want the value of x and the value of this years old. So what we've done here is called string concatenation. And if we now print out the age, it should say you are 5 years old. Now I don't think I have any 5-year-old viewers. I mean, if you're a 5-year-old viewer, then please comment down below. But yeah, what we've done here is a very cool method. So it's not just used for adding two integers or two numerical values. It is used for generating text like the way you just saw that we did. So it's a very useful operator. The next one is going to be the minus operator. So we're going to remove that. And instead, we're going to say x hyphen y. So the hyphen is the subtraction operator. We run this, we should get 0 because 5 minus 5 equals 0. As you can see, we now got it 0. So that's cool. The next one is going to be plus, rather division. So x divided by y, we should get 1. This is the / forward /, whichever one you want to use. We've got a 1. And the last one is multiplication, which is, well, not the last one actually. Multiplication is this asterisk. We run this, we get a 25 because 5 times 5 equals 25. And then the last one will be the percent sign modulus. And what this is it basically just returns the remainder of a division. So for example, we're dividing x divided by y. So 5 divided by 5, it will be equal to 1 with no remainder. So this will return a 0. As you can see. Now if we're dividing, so if we say 6, 6 divided by 5 is 1 with the remainder 1. So if you run this, we'll get the remainder 1. As you can see here, we have 1. So those are the arithmetic operators that you can use to find different values of calculations. Now we can take it a step further by going into the next set of operators, which is going to be the value operators. I don't think that's what they're called, but let me just show. It's going to be easier for me to show you. So we have x and we have y. Let's say, for example, you want to increase the value of x by 1. You do that by having 2 addition operators like so. So if we now print out x, you'll see we now get a 7. X is equal to 6, but this added by 1, we now have a 7. If you run this again, you will get an 8. So this is how you would like make it so that whenever you call a certain method, a number increases. This is how you would do it. So now let's say you don't want to increase it by just 1, you want to increase it maybe by 7. You can use the addition and the assignment operator, the equal sign, and actually by the number you want to increase it with. So you run this, it'll be equal to 7 plus 6, which is 13. You do the same again, it will add the number again by 7, which is going to be 20. Beautiful. So that is what we call incrementing the value. The increment operator is this, and I don't know what this is called, but yeah, you kind of get the idea. And just like the other ones, you can use other symbols. So this will decrease the value by 7. This will multiply the value by 7, and this will divide the value by 7. It's really just that cool. So those are the, I would say, arithmetic operations that you can run on that. All right, so next let's talk about if statements. And like I said in the intro, these are basically how you decide in Java, how code decides whether to run something or not, and you just use if, and then the condition is inside the brackets, and then you have inside these curly braces the code that should run if the condition returns true. If it returns false, you can have another condition using the else if, inside here condition, inside code if this returns true. Or if both of these are false, then you just have an else that will run if both these conditions, or if you only have an if statement here, then if this one returns false, it will run this one. So there's that. And yeah, if you want multiple of these, then you can have multiple else ifs. You can have multiple else ifs. At a beginner level, this is okay, but as you advance, well, you need to avoid using so many if statements. So just gonna have this if else, for example. This is the convention. You need to be in the same line like this, completely fine. So I'm gonna have a condition in here, and this is where we bring up our comparison operators, which are used to compare two things to each other. You're very much familiar with these from like the 3rd grade, 2nd grade, all of that. You're probably used to seeing something like this. So the first one I'm going to mention in this video will be the equal to, and what we can say is if x is equal to y. We have a problem here because we are actually assigning here. We are required to have a boolean in here. So this is not a boolean. We are assigning a value here. Okay, now to actually compare, you use double of these. You use double assignment operator. So do not mistake the comparison operator to this assignment operator. So the equal sign assigns values. The double assignment operator, means we're comparing the two. So this is if x is equal to y, then we want to print out I ran. And if it's not, we want to print out, so x is 6, y is 5. This is obviously going to be false. It's going to print it did not run. I didn't run because this returned false. So this was completely skipped and it went on to the else. If you had another one, it would check the second one. It would check the second if statement, and then if that one returns true, it would run that one. It would not run the else. Basically, that's how you would do it. So this is the equal sign. Remember, do not confuse this with this. If you put a single one, it will not work. You need to have double. The second one is going to be not equal to. So this sees if x is not equal to. So this one is the opposite of our equal to, as you might expect. So if x is not equal to y, which is not, it will I ran. And if it is equal to it, it will run. I didn't run. So let's run it. I ran because x is not equal to y. Pretty great stuff. The next one is if x is greater than y. I mean, this is actually less than. The one pointing backwards is less than. So if x is less than y, x is not less than 1, so this will return false. It did not run because x is not less than y. You could also say is x less than or equal to, using these two combined. And since x is not equal to y either, it also won't run. If x was equal to y, it would run because it is equal to or it's less than. Now up next we have the same set, the opposite direction. So if it's pointing forward, it's the greater than. If x is greater than y, this will return true because x is greater than y. It ran, and we can also have the equal to. So it's greater than. So this will also return true. All right. So those are the comparison operators, and they are pretty cool stuff. That's how you compare this. Alternatively, you could also just declare a Boolean value. For example, you can say is true, and then you can set it to false, and then you can pass it in here and just say is true, and since it's false, we will get I didn't run. So you now get the idea of how you would actually do conditions in Java. That's pretty great. Now go on to the final part of this video, which is going to be logical operators. So in logical, we have and, we've got or, and we've got not, and they are something like this. So you want to check if x is greater than y, and if it's also, we want to make sure that both these conditions return true for us to actually run this code. So how you would do that is use the and. Now, the ampersand on its own is and in real life, but you need to use two of these to actually show that you're trying to see if both of these are true. So this will only return true if both these conditions turn true. So x is greater than y. Yes, it is also less than 10. This will return true. I ran, and that's how it works. Now, if one of these returns false, then the entire thing returns false. It doesn't matter if one is correct. If one of these returns false, the entire thing will return false. So it didn't run. So that's the and. Now how you would do the or is you will use this, the pipe. So this should be right before your Z key or after the shift key. At least that's on my keyboard. I don't know about yours, but you will do something like this. So these two compare or, and this means that only one of these has returned true. So if one of these returns true, the entire thing will go true. So it doesn't matter if the true one is on the first or the second one. You can have as many as you want, by the way. You can have y less than x. So if one of these returns true, x is indeed greater than y, but x is not greater than 10. This will run because one of these conditions is actually true. It ran. Alright, so that's that. And the final one is not. So what we want to do here is we're gonna delete this. Let's see. No, let's delete the first one. So x is not greater than 10. We know that, right? So this automatically turned false because x is not greater than 10. This is false, obviously. But let's say you want the same thing without having to change the sign to make it greater than. Well, then what you would do is you would surround this with brackets, and then you would use the not operator. Remember this when we were using it with this to make it not equal to, same way this negates. So if this one returns false, this will now negate it to turn it into true. So here it will be false, but because of this, it will now be true. So we run this, it will print out I ran. So this is how you would negate it. Now, one thing I should mention before in the video is that there are a lot more operators in this. For example, we've got the diamond operator, we've got the colon, for example, we've got the lambda expression. There are lots of operators that I have not mentioned yet, but those ones are not really going to be useful at the beginner level. These are the ones that you're going to be using for now. More advanced Java stuff is where you use those other operators. But yeah, for this video, I think we have accomplished our mission. So yeah, that was operators and if statements in Java. Well, the basic ones anyways. Really hope you guys did learn something. If you liked, makes sense that you leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you can actually get notified whenever I upload the next video. And next video I should be doing methods. I'm actually kind of excited for this one. That being said though, I really hope you guys have a great day. Catch you in the next one.